and welcome to TQ Talks, where we talk taxes and tax-free living 365. Here are your hosts, Craig White, Sebastian Singh, and Patrick Augustin.
And we're back with another wonderful episode of TQ Talks.
We're back, baby. We're back.
Let's go. Thank you guys for joining us once again. TQ Financial Services on all your social media platforms and, of course, your podcasting and streaming platforms. You can find us here, like, share, comment, subscribe.
Get it together, Bassie. Today's topic. You know, before we touch on the topic, I want to make sure everybody, the reason we talk a lot about businesses is because that's the primary purpose of our business, right? We are here to help of course, everyone, right? We do everything for taxes on that side, but it's usually business owners, small, large, doesn't matter. But that's why we talk about it. And we're more than likely, as we clear the tax season, hooray, we will get into more strategic discussions on our podcast, because that's what we'll be going into, is our tax planning part. But today, the question of the year, as we keep getting files, and I love these, by the way, send them in. Pat, Bassie, myself, we love it when you guys have not filed.
In some time.
Man, it's fine.
Let's help you out.
Listen, don't panic. That's what we're here for.
I'm gonna tell you to panic, because don't come to me with expectations when there is none.
Come to me with the expectations.
Don't panic, y'all.
I will
Don't
set
panic.
it for you.
Do not panic.
I'm
Whatever
gonna give
you
it to
do.
you raw.
So what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to help you to understand what happens if you haven't filed your business taxes in years. But when we say business, we don't mean like an LLC, you know, you're doing 10-4. We're talking about corps.
I'm gonna give you the scenario, Craig.
Yes, go for
Here
it.
we go.
The business that hasn't filed, right?
What
The
type of business?
spouse, 1120.
Okay.
Right. The spouse has been filing, for example.
That's a C Corp you're talking about.
no.
Oh,
the-
S
the-
Corp, 1120S.
1120. Yes.
I'm sorry.
The spouse have been filing separately.
Okay.
So they got hers. So the IRS is waiting for his.
Oh, you're talking about
And
another
they
person.
know.
And they know it's coming. So be ready.
Yeah.
Expect.
Yeah, but these are, listen, guys.
Panic is unnecessary.
A lot of them is like that, though.
Bring us all the information you have.
All right. Wait.
Again, like we said the previous podcast, the mind shift needs to be there.
But hold on. As we said the previous podcast, though, see, this is the part where y'all tell me stuff and then y'all ain't implement your own stuff. Education. See, you say it from a place of understanding, because Pat, Bassie, you guys do this all the time. But when you set up a business, you're married, you guys aren't filing together, this is how, you have no clue how this affects you. So that's why I say, as most of the times I'm the one that says, y'all don't come to me with crap, right? But on this one, I do, because usually there's the time for me to explain, hey, this is how this works. Once you have that explanation and that understanding, what you do with it is different. Now, there's people I've explained it to and I no longer talk to, right? Because you haven't changed, you haven't adjusted, and I'm cool with that.
Not our clients.
Not our client. But this portion, like the guy situation you're giving an example of, if she doesn't know and he doesn't know, and they do know, by the way, because he knows he has to file.
They know,
that one, he knows.
Yeah.
Then that's shame on you. But listen, let's get you caught up. That's the whole point of this, right? The point is on this one is, what happens if you haven't filed in a long time? What do you do? What are the steps that you need to take? I did a video on it, but it's just so long, right? And I was just like, podcast is way better. This is not going to work.
Like we spoke off air as far as doing zero returns, right? Just to kind of minimize the tax burden, but not necessarily, because if you do get audited, there's bank statements.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know
You're
what I'm saying?
saying
So-
a zero return like to lie.
Just to catch up on the years that you missed.
We don't do that.
So
No.
yeah, we just
No. Listen,
we're
hold
not
on.
doing for you.
They know, y'all.
They know.
Like we're not doing that. We're not writing off or just making up zero returns, especially when you're
there's profitable income.
Hey,
in your
there's
business.
stuff there. I just want to get to this year and move forward. No.
Yeah.
Pause the brakes.
Yep.
If you're adamant about that, again, you're not our client.
You're not our client.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not our client.
No. So
But
what,
we will help you get caught up. Come on in, bring your stuff.
yeah. So what? Well, let's walk them through the stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So the issue that you usually have when you haven't filed in a long time is you don't know where anything is, right?
Right.
So what we're going to tell you to do is to go to the wonderful place that everyone loves to go to.
I hate it. I hate it, man. You got to sit down with them and do it with them, literally.
IRS.gov is your best friend. And on that wonderful, after you set it up with ID Me, you're going to need to retrieve your transcripts. But there's multiple transcripts, right? There's going to be your actual filed tax return transcript, which you're probably not going to see because you didn't file one. But the one that we're more concerned with is your wages and income.
Yeah.
Wages and income transcript is something you need to see. You need to pull that transcript for every year you haven't filed. Now let me renege. Go back, right? We're playing spades. If you go in and you look at your actual filed W-2 or filed W-2, file 1040 transcripts, you should pay attention to it to see when the last year you filed was.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, which has happened already, I filed in 2021 and I look at that transcript with them and I see 2018. That's a big deal because now we know it's more work, or meaning more years that you'd have to file. Now, the transcript, the wages and income transcript is important because it tells you all the things that were reported to the IRS. I repeat, all the things that were reported. Reported. Did I say reported?
It's reported. See,
to the IRS.
The thing a lot of tax payers miss is that the IRS is a balancing act, right? Employers report income to you that's being paid under your social. Now the IRS is waiting for you to report that same income to balance everything out.
And everything else you have going on if you're married or whatever.
If it's not balanced, then it's either you're misreporting income and you're trying to hide money from somewhere.
Right? Correct.
Now you're getting audited because it's a balancing act.
98% of the time they're coming after you first and then checking with the you have to convince them that the business was wrong, that paid you back when, that.
Yeah. So the
IRS has your information. Period.
So the wages transcript helps you to understand what's there. So again, it's important because a lot of the times you guys will say, well, listen, I made X, and we look at the transcript and you made Y. It could be good or bad. It could be you told me you made 300, but the IRS sees 200. I'm not, see no evil, hear no evil. I'm not involved in that part, but I'm saying that what we're going to use is a transcript that's being provided to us in order to help you to establish what the realistic income is, right? Once that is there, then we go to work. And we got to find expenses. Now that one, that's bank accounts, purchases. You got to dig, and we'll go through all that. But again, the point is, if you have not filed in a very long time, you need to, because Sebastian already said it. They know. Yeah. And yes, they are purposely waiting.
It's called interest and
they let it wait. They let it sit. They let it cook. They let it fester. They let it do all that stuff. And then once you file, hopefully the numbers are aligned with theirs.
Yep, it will be because you're giving us a wages transcript.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're going to be like, all right, well.
And hopefully the liability is under $50,000.
Yes. Right. Here's your fee. Pay it.
Listen.
Oh, you can't? Here are extra fees on top of that.
But wait.
Plus some interest. Take your time, by the way. We'll keep adding the interest.
We'll give you 6 years to pay it off.
Do your thing.
Under 50. But Pat, you talked to us about the 1099K situation. We're not going to do the whole thing about where it's going down and all that, but that was something you brought up that was important. They need to understand.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier because is that most businesses, they provide us with a P&L statement, a profit and loss statement, right? So we always, to double check ourselves, is to ask for that 1099K to make sure what the POS system is reporting also to the IRS.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean piece of poop, by the way, guys.
Yeah, that's point of sale. Point of sale.
As he just throws out, listen, man, come on. So
we're talking about business. They should know what a POS system is.
Here we go with the education again.
Like, hey, if you own a business, you should know what a POS is.
They do. They know.
This is not first gen. If you're making $1 million on a 1099K, you're not a first gen. So
what Pat's saying is that they're going to report that as well. Yeah. The IRS will know that, and that. I don't want to say it's new, but it's newer, right? Because when these things, when Cash App and Zelle and stuff first started, it was open season.
No, that's listen.
POS system's been around for a while.
No, he means 1099Ks. The 1099K has been
Yeah.
there for a very long time.
And that's what I'm saying, newer, right?
Because over 20.
Yep.
Right? That's why you didn't see it, because it was smaller businesses. It was but if you did bigger businesses, they all had it. The only difference is, just for educational purposes, is S corps don't require that. There's no if you do business with somebody, they're not going to naturally just send you you're not sending your S corp a 1099K because no one gives a crap. You're supposed to report the income. The IRS is expecting you to take it seriously, which is why the audit rates, hint, on S corps
are higher,
lower.
They're lower
because no info is there.
Yep. It's not going to them with that
LLCs,
1099K, right?
single member.
Yeah.
There's no camera. LLC single members
There
are actually
multiple cameras.
I took mine off.
Oh, got another one here. Just
But
waiting.
the LLCs are actually the highest, right?
Yeah, they're going to
Because-
come and check.
Yeah,
They're coming to check. They're going to audit. They're going to find it, and you're going to pay.
right. So ultimately, it's your job to report these things. So if you have multiple years, the worst thing you could do is avoid it and think that, to Patrick's point, nothing's going to happen. To Bassie's point, they have your information.
Yep.
So contact us, right?
Our clients are very forward-minded. They're very growth-minded. They're looking to progress and excel. So with that, let's get you on the right track from here, and let's move forward in a positive light. If you don't want to catch up, then we love you.
We love you. You're just not the client for us.
It's not our clients.
I don't think we need. Do we need to touch on consequences? It's
You gotta,
That's what I said.
What?
But hopefully, it's not above $50,000 because
You owe.
Because if you owe Uncle Sam above $50,000, they're sending you threatening letters. They're
the
gonna
IRS
seize
is the biggest
assets.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah.
biggest mob in the world.
Yeah.
You don't get away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they will dip into your account and send you a letter say, yeah, we took this, so go ahead and live your life.
Yep. They will freeze your assets. Word to
will.
come.
No, not even freeze. They'll just take the money.
They'll take the money. We've
Straight
been
out.
there, done
Can't
that
make
one.
no
We've
more
seen that
nothing.
one.
We've seen that. Like, how can they do this? They can't do that.
It's the law.
Yeah. Any questions? Let us know. 800-413-1456. I don't know the rest of that stuff.
As always, thank you guys for joining us. Join us again on all social media platforms as well as our streaming platforms. TQ Financial Services is our name, and we call this TQ Talks.
April
Later.
15th is around the corner.
Let's go.
Hopefully
Don't
it's
wait.
passed by the time y'all listen to this one. Bye.
Nah, come on in.
File
Give us a call.
Later.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you for listening to TQ Talks. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on iTunes, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information at tqfinancials.com.